What's up, Pirates? Ray Talks here with Awaken TCG, and today we have, as you can see on the screen, we have two of the Ultra decks, the three captains. ST10 comes with the Luffy, comes with the Kid, comes with the Law. So we're just gonna go ahead and open this up and kind of just rant about, not only these ST10 cards, but also the leaders and if they're gonna actually do well in this meta. I mean, December 5th is our OPO5 release date, so a week before then is pre-release, and it is currently November 15th. So that's about 3 weeks. So we're not going to have much time to fully, implement these into the current meta. But at the end of the day, they're still really good decks. And I personally believe that they can definitely do some damage just because of people's lack of knowledge. I think, when a new deck comes out, not everyone has tested it on the sim for, 100 matches, and not everyone can play against it optimally. And there's a lot of cards in here that we're going to talk about where it's like, whoa, like you got to really like ingrain into your memory, like, okay, you can't do this on this turn, or if they have that Dawn, you can't do this. And so we're going to open these up, go over it. I'm trying to be all, trying to get these things. Okay, there we go. These deck boxes are always weird. But yeah, we're just going to talk about some stuff here while we open up this beautiful deck. Oh, and I didn't know it came with the deck box. Wow, that makes it even more awesome. So here we got the deck box. I'm gonna show you guys right here on this. I should probably do this backwards where there's good cameras for the cards and you guys can see my face blurry. It's all good. Okay, just a little divider cardboard placeholder thing. Oh, yep, look at that. Okay, so here we have the deck finally. Let's go over some of these cards. So let's obviously we see the Law here for starters. Let's go ahead and go over the Law. Yeah, so this Law here, it's a really good card, and it's probably the best leader in my opinion out of the three. I mean, Luffy's up there, but personally, maybe right now Luffy might be a slightly better just because the Law doesn't have all the cards necessary for it to thrive. Like no Searcher, but that changes in OPO5. But for the most part, I guess you can put both of them up there, and then Kid being at the tier right below it. So here we have the Law. This Law here, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's play on the Shambles effect is you Dawn -3, you get to bottom deck a 3000 power or less, and then you play cost 4 or less from hand. So I think the biggest strength on a card like this is that it bottom decks, right? So that means black decks, those cannot be KO'd effects on some of their characters are just useless, right? And I think the strength is just that it bottom decks, and then you got to play a 4-cost unit after. Yeah, it is Dawn -3, but there's so many cards in a deck like this where you just ramp. So it doesn't matter too much. Then we have the Luffy, which would rival the strength of the Law, in my opinion. It doesn't have the cards it needs to be, at 100%, just for the fact that it needs, the white beards. It needs the radical beams to be so defensive like a Whitebeard. You're a 6,000 leader. That's kind of your play style. And so we don't have those cards. So you got to play kind of different lists, which aren't bad, but definitely not the strongest that it could be. And then Kid, not going to talk about it too much. Definitely the worst leader. You could play it for fun. You can play it for locals. If you're competitively seriously trying to play, it's probably not the best deck. But I'm not here to tell you don't play it in a Treasure Cup or an online regional or offline regional. That is up to your discretion. But if you want your best odds, definitely not a deck I would recommend. And then so let's go ahead and start going over some of these cards here. And oh, dude, these cards are so beautiful. Like every single one of these cards is hollow. Let me go ahead and show you guys here. Like, look at this. You're telling me that these cards are not so insane? Like, these things are just amazing. They did a good job with all these cards here. This deck is just massive. So here we got the Rush Luffy's. It comes with 2. It's a 10 cost for 11,000 rush. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a blocker, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 8,000 power or less. So this card is actually really good, especially if your opponent has a blocker and like maybe you want to go for lethal. They're going to be forced to block out, but now you got to kill one of their 8,000 power or less units, which is massive. It comes with these laws. So yeah, that Luffy card's pretty decent. Not the best. It is 10 Dawn. So these laws here, these laws are basically becoming a staple in every purple deck. It's a blocker, 4 Dawn for 5,000 power. On play, Dawn -1. If your opponent has 7 cards or more in hand, you trash 2 randomly. So this is where I was telling you, we're like, okay, if you're at 6 cards in hand and your opponent is on their second turn at 4 Dawn and they go swing 5 at you, you can never take the life. You go to 7, they play this on curve, -2 cards. Like you got to block out and hope that you have something to block out with, because if you take that first life and they're at 4 Dawn and then they play this, you just lost 2 cards instead of just losing 1, right? You lose 2 cards, so you lose the 2 in your hand because you took, instead of just losing 1 because now you blocked out and you're at 6 cards. They can't play that, right? So you just lose 1 card. Next up, we have this kid. This kid is an amazing card into Magellan, into I know that it goes into this Luffy. I know there's other decks that run it. Maybe some Kaidos would have this. I think one of my favorite parts is these Zoros here. It's an amazing art. Let me go ahead and show you guys. It's an amazing art, and it's 4 of in this deck, right? So these are the Rush Zoros that are so expensive. So you can just buy one of these decks and have a full playset, which is pretty amazing. And then same thing with these Namis. Obviously they're banned right now, but for the most part, you can still pick it up. OPO5, they will be in ban. So an amazing art, honestly. It's shiny. Nami looks amazing. She looks fantastic, and it's a 4 of, so you have a playset. And so if you're like a new player trying to get into this game, I would definitely recommend at least buying one of these, even if you're not going to use the purple cards, just for the Zoros, for the Namis. You can have one of each 3 of the leaders if you ever decide to play it. So overall, I would definitely try to invest into something like this. Next up, we have the Sanjis. So on play, if your character has 5,000 more, a character with 5,000 or more power, it gains Rush. It's a 6/6. Not the best card. I probably wouldn't ever play it, but I mean, the art's really cool and it's a nice card. And then here we have 2 of these Jinbeis. Something like this. Dawn ×1. When attacking, give one of your opponent's characters -2,000 power. It's basically just like a little body for the law to play with, right? And it's a 2K, so if you can play it on curve and have your opponent scared to play something of 5,000 power on their turn 3, it does the job. Here we have Killer. Your turn, once per turn, when a Dawn card is on your field, return to your Dawn deck. KO to one of your opponent's rested characters with 3,000 or with cost 3 or less. It's a decent card. The effect is very niche, and I probably wouldn't play it. Maybe that's like a card for the kid deck. So Shachi and Penguin, this card right here, this is a staple. This card right here is a staple into this law. It is a 2K. If you have 3 or less Dawn on the field on play, you add 2 Dawn from your Dawn deck. So basically you do Dawn -3. This is the target you pick to play on with the law effect, and now it becomes a Dawn -1. So, and you have a 5,000 power body on the board. So just an amazing card. Gene Bar, another card that you can take into the deck. It's just on play, rest 1, gain an active Dawn. Nothing special. Just another target, allows you to ramp a little bit back. And then Heat, this card right here is an amazing card for Magellan. This card is Dawn -1, gain 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So just an amazing card, a great 3-drop. Another law card. So a lot of these cards are definitely teched for the law deck, but I guess every one of these decks plays around Dawn -FX. So this Beppo is just on play, and when attacking, if your opponent has more Dawn than you, you just ramp 1. Here, Wire, we have a blocker, nothing special. Gum Gum Giant Sumo Slap. This is basically a mini Red Hawk. I wouldn't play it. It's a mini Red Hawk. I'd rather just play the Red Hawk. And then we have Gum Gum Kong Gatling, which is just a slightly bigger what's the word I'm thinking of? Jet Pistol. This is just a slightly bigger Jet Pistol. KOs of 7,000 or less. And then we have Punk Vise. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters with cost 2 or less. Add up 1 Dawn to your Dawn deck. So you ramp 1 and you rest at 2 or less. Pretty bad effect. Honestly, I wouldn't run that. But as you guys can see, the cards are so beautiful. And then even the Dawn, guys. Even the Dawn is hollow. So let me show you guys. Oh, man, that is amazing. Yeah, they really did their thing with this deck. I'm not gonna lie. This is probably my favorite starter deck, and obviously because it's all hollow, it's just an amazing deck. If you haven't picked one up, definitely do. I picked up 2 just so I can have a play set of all the purple cards that I'm gonna run in other decks. But yeah, this deck is amazing. Definitely pick one up. And then let's talk about a little bit about these leaders here. This kit is probably going to be forgotten. Not many people are going to play this. It is what it is. I mean, the leader effect's just not the best, and that's final. Here, these 2 I have seen already. Eggman had a tournament yesterday. There was an RP Law and there was an RP Luffy, and both of them did pretty well. So I think these 2 definitely have some potential, especially as people start making more spicy lists. I think these 2 definitely have some potential to shake up the meta for these next 3 weeks. Obviously, we know in OP05 this gets better. This is going to be able to be played without any restrictions, and so these decks do get better, but we kind of already have a lot of information on how the OP05 meta is going to go for us. That's if they don't ban or restrict any more cards. Sakazuki is just way too good right now. It's definitely carrying the title of #1. And then we have Enel, Pluffy, starter deck, Uta. We have even Katakuri. So we kind of know and what to expect. Definitely our meta is going to be slightly different, but we kind of know already for the most part. And so these decks do have a spot in the meta. I just don't know how big it is, but they're great. They're great cards. They're amazing leaders. Definitely give them a try. We have a video coming out Friday or Saturday. I'm not sure which day, on a locals video for Luffy. I'm not sure what day it's going to be released, but we're going to have a locals video with Luffy. It's going to have an amazing deck list, like a really, like, I'm not even just saying this to hype it up. It's going to be a really good Luffy video with an amazing deck list that you guys are going to want to check out. I promise you. And then I'll probably end up making a RP Law video, which won't be as good as the Law or as the Luffy video, but it's definitely going to be there. Just to kind of help you guys, if you guys ever want to play a deck like this, kind of give you guys some tips on a deck like this. So this one's just going to be probably me going over the deck list and a little overview, maybe a match or 2. This one is going to be a whole like 20-30 minute long video where you guys are going to get your 3 local matches, the deck breakdown, and then our thoughts afterwards. So yeah, you guys should be real excited for the videos that we're about to release. It's going to be real exciting, real fun. Obviously, I have another box here to open up, but I'll just open that afterwards. Obviously, we have our whole deck here, and that is pretty cool. But thank you guys so much for watching. That is going to be it for this video. Make sure to stay tuned for the rest of our videos. If you guys haven't subbed already, go ahead and subscribe, guys. We are, we're doing amazing. You guys are helping us. You guys are supporting us. So if you haven't subbed already, please go ahead and sub for me. It would mean a lot. And I will see you guys on the next video. Comment, like, subscribe. Peace.